Hi everyone, it's Denise with Wondubar Crafts. Welcome back to the channel. Today I just kind of want to play around with a little sewing project. My last couple of videos, you know, they were pre-taped with the intention of me doing some avocado dyeing while they were playing, but yeah. A bunch of other stuff came up, so I wasn't able to do the avocado dyeing, and I got up this morning and I was just like, I'm not quite burnt out, but I want to craft. You know, I'm having fun with this journal so far, so I just really kind of want to move a little along with it, so I might do some back-to-back videos today. That way I've got the weekend to do some other stuff too. So anyways, kind of want to show you what I've been playing around with. In my other videos, we did a couple journaling cards. And then, so I went ahead and sewed on them. Okay, and then I made up this one. And I don't know if I had showed you guys these ones yet or not. But those are those. And then I was watching Dee Fargo, and Dee, if I said your name wrong, please correct me and let me know how it's said, but I think it's Fargo, but I'm not sure. I could be way off. But I was watching her on her channel. She was painting a beautiful, like the Northern Lights cover for her next journal project. And I am by far not a painter. I'm like good at just like kind of rubbing, blending the paints together. So essentially that's what I did. I have like a big stack of playing cards that are like Winston cigarettes and Salem and Budweiser, and you know, people don't really kind of want those kind of cards because, you know, I mean, what do you do with them? They're not pretty on one side. And so what I did was I just put some gesso over them and then painted some wintry colors on there. I backed them with some coffee stain paper. And then I did some stamping and some embossing with it. So I just stamped and then, you know, did the embossing on it. This one's got a little silver shimmer, and this one's gold, and then just did some background stitching and, you know, that kind of stuff. So just played around a little bit with those, and then I made up, I don't know if I showed this or not in my other videos, my last video anyway. I made a little ribbon card. This will go with the journal. I don't know if I had shown it or not, but this is some of the ribbon that I will be using in the journal. So, and I just took off some snippets to use for the journal, and then the remainder of it will go with the journal itself. And then what I did was, you know, that Raggedy Spine video, which if you didn't get a chance to see, I'll link it right up here so that you can go back and check it out. But that's essentially what I did here, was made some raggedy strips. Remember I said you could make raggedy strips and cut them and then make like a snippet roll, like a raggedy snippet roll with it. So that's essentially what I've done. I took some of the same fabrics here and did the same thing, except for it's not in the same order. So instead of having like my dark, then my light, whatever, go in and variegate, I just did it in the same order this way. And then on one half of it, I did some of that pretty ribbon in here just to give, when I cut it and sew it end to end, I've got like every other piece is plain and then some decoration. And then I got to having so much fun, I pulled out some more colors, some more blues. And blue, when I was growing up, or when I was younger, I should say, well, when I was growing up and in my 20s, blue was my favorite color. So I have a lot of blue fabrics and grays and that kind of stuff. So I didn't really begin to really love pink. I mean, I liked pink, but I didn't really like loving it until I really got into quilting and then of course junk journaling and stuff. And so I really, really am in love with pink. I still love blue too, though too. I like my blues. So what I did was the same thing. I just pulled 4 more different fabrics, and I sewed them together. And then I put, I love this. It's like a fuzzy yarn, and it's like 2 pieces of yarn. It's like eyelash, real long, fuzzy eyelash type yarn, and then it has like a knot. You know what I mean? It's like knotted. I don't know if you guys can see those. Wrapped in there too. And I love it because it's so soft and fuzzy. So I put a piece of that in here to kind of give more fuzzy texture, and then just a piece of the silver, it's white yarn with like a silver lay on it, and then I zigzag stitched it with blue in here just to give a little more texture on it. So what I was going to do was show you guys how to kind of make these, because like I said, if you go back and look, if you haven't had a chance to watch the Raggedy Spine video, they're very easy. It's just a straight stitch to put them together. I think the video was like 36 minutes. I think the longest time it took was to actually, cut and strip the fabric, and just kind of get a nice little fray on it. But other than that, it's very, very simple. So this should be just as simple. And it is simple because it's just straight stitching and piecing your pieces together. So although the lengths are kind of staggered on the top, that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to the end down here. Instead of going, you could go across this way if you wanted, so that when you laid it out it would be long, but I'm going to go this way so that they're like shorter this way. So I've got my rotary cutter at the ready. And I'm going to cut them in, I think, 2-inch strips, so that they'll be, because there's 2 inches in width. And I have like a long ruler that has the rotary cutter on it, and I'm going to have to stand to do this, otherwise I'll cut crooked. But I'll just use this. I'll just take my time. Just line it up. And cut my strips. And you can go all the way across. I'm just moving it over so that you guys can actually see it. Otherwise, I'll go way off probably the viewpoint. Well, maybe not. I don't know. This camera picks up pretty good view. But they are 8 inches in length. I cut them 8 inches in length, so I should get 4 pieces out of it, out of each one. And you could literally do like every other one, or you could do, what I'm going to do is kind of, I think, like stagger them like that, so then I've got a long little piece here. And then I'm going to add this to the end, so I can go from either end. There. Okay. Take it to my 16. I like to use the even and the odds together. If I'm cutting an odd piece, I'll start it at an odd number. I'm weird that way. You don't have to, but that's just what I do. I think it helps me keep on track a little bit. And I'm trying to talk softer because I'm very close to the camera, and I know the mic is in the camera, so I don't want to blow your eardrums out. And it doesn't have to be like immensely perfect because it is raggedy. Because even I kind of offset my stitching a little bit so that it would be a little bit, like, it wouldn't be perfect. And that's, to give a more raggedy look on there. Okay. And you know what? I might just do every other. Like, do like that. And then that way I've got it kind of variegated all the way across. I might just do that. So let's just stack our pieces here. And I think I want that piece there. And then I want another white piece there. Right? Yeah. And then we're going to move over to the machine and sew them together. So give me just a second here. Okay, I am here. Sorry, I'm still trying to get used to flipping back and forth between the camera, and I did kind of move this a little bit outward, so hopefully you can see more of what I'm doing here. So all I'm going to do is the same thing we did with the, to make them, is I'm going to put my wrong sides together so that my right sides are on the bottom and the top. And then I'm just going to get my machine back to a straight stitch, because I was doing zigzag stitch earlier. And then just sew a 1/4 inch. And you don't need to back stitch with this. It's just like quilting. When you're piecing the top, you don't have to back stitch. Actually, back stitching can pucker your pieces together. So, and you could certainly do it here if you wanted to, if you didn't feel it was going to be stable enough, but it is intended to be like a little snippet roll, so. And you're probably going to be cutting pieces off of it and all that happy stuff. And you could certainly embellish it even more, hang some charms off of there, sew some buttons on, but I think with this one, I'm just going to leave it pretty plain because I can decorate it once I cut the piece off. And normally if I were going to sell these and put them in the shop, I would embellish them pretty well, like I did my other snippet rolls, so. Okay, I just want to make sure I push this edge down so that I don't sew over it. And if you do, don't worry. The Ripper is your friend. I don't know very many quilters or sewers that don't have one at the ready. I know a lot of people say, well, if you sew it right the first time, you don't need it. That is true. But, come on, we are human, and no one is perfect. So we all make mistakes. I mean, we even do it in junk journaling, right? I mean, we make a mistake and figure out how to fix it. So it's the same thing with sewing. And luckily my machine has like an auto cutter on it. I don't have to pull it out and cut it, but it shouldn't stop you from just because your machine doesn't do any fancy stitching or anything, that you can't do beautiful things. I have 2 other machines. One is an old Kenmore, and it is avocado green. It was my mom's old machine, and because I did end up taking it. I didn't want to, but I did, and then I ended up donating my other. It was an older, not older, but it was from the 90s. Just a plain Singer. Let me set that back on there. It seems to have wanted to come off a little bit. And it's okay if your strings are hanging and poking out because it's raggedy, right? As I clip off the piece, right? Okay, so we need a white piece on the end over here, right? Yeah, we have white, dark blue. Did I put that on backwards? No, dark blue, and then Where's my gray piece? Am I off here? No, gray piece. White. Gray piece. White. What goes to the white? Oh. So then what goes to the, yeah, the white piece. No, the gray piece. Okay, where am I? Oh, I'm okay. I'm looking over here. Yeah, it is the gray piece. I keep forgetting they're doubled. Duh. Come on, Denise. Get to with the program. I think I got another piece over there that I kind of sewed too thin. Where is it? Right here. When you are dealing with smaller pieces, it is harder, you know. When you're quilting and you want that perfection, then yeah, it is very much, it can be quite tedious. But this is just a raggedy piece, so it doesn't have to be perfect. See, Amy, I'm not perfect all the time. You can do this. It's so simple. And I know when people, they get intimidated by the machine. I don't know why I'm having issues with that white piece there. Oh, I see what I did. I sewed it too close to the frayed edge. There. We're going to fix that. Sometimes with this softer fabric that does an excellent fray. Sometimes when you're working so close to the edge too, you it looks like you picked it up, but you actually picked it up on the frayed end, and it just pulls right off. That's okay, just sew over it. You know. And if you hear retreat, I apologize. It is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can hear it here, you know, because I live on the other side. The highway off of where I live is like where the base is across the highway, and it echoes. Even though there's a big old flight line between the base. It's like the base, the flight line, a big highway, or not a big highway, but a highway, and then us. It is still, I can still hear it, because there's like nothing out there, so it just echoes. This morning I woke up to engines being ran for the, yeah, the B2. But we get to hear it every day at 5 o'clock. Get to hear reveille in the morning, retreat in the afternoon, and then every so often I can hear taps being played about 9 o'clock at night. So it's pretty common. Alright, see, now we have this big, long snippet roll, and I apologize if some of this has been out of camera. I am still trying to get adjusted to where this camera sits. So, and I've already pulled it out a little more so that you guys can kind of see instead of it being like right on there, and then my hands are completely covered everything. But there it is. I mean, just one big long piece, and then you can take off what you want, make a pocket, add it to a tag, you know, whatever. So I love that yarn. It's all nice and fuzzy. Oh yeah, I love it. All right, so let me move back over. Okay, so like I said, it took us what, maybe 15-20 minutes, you know. I mean, part of the video I was showing you some other stuff, so it didn't take very long at all to actually sew those little bits together. Now you got this nice big long snippet roll that you can do with as you want. So let's do a little something with it. Let me flip over this because I got paint on the other side. And I like this little journaling card with this. It's very simple, but I was thinking maybe we could put a little pocket here and then decorate a little tag to go in there. I thought that would be kind of cute. So those little inventory tags. So let me find a piece that I kind of like would go in there, and I like these grays. They kind of go really good right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip right this part right above where it's right below where it's sewn, so that the frayed piece stays just like that. Okay, and then I am just gonna, let's see, we could maybe put a little button or something on there, I think. Let's see, a nice big button right there. And I can sew those on, but I would have to pause to do that because I need to refill my little button thing here. Big curly button, because that would match kind of there, huh? That one, and then let's see if we got some. I think I have some darker blue ones in my. Oh, here's a dark blue one in my other jar. And let's see if we can find maybe like a silvery one. There we go. And I might go ahead and sew that on. So let me grab a needle and thread, and I will be right back. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on with me lately. I, for the most part, have like a place for everything, right? It may not always be like so stacked perfect or whatever, but there's a place for everything. I looked for these for 20 minutes on the I thought, well, maybe the pack fell on the floor. I looked in the drawer that I keep them in 3 times. The 4th time was the charm, and I managed to find it. I don't know. I need a vacation from my vacation. So yeah, I got to thinking, well, golly, I just went to the eye doctor yesterday and got my prescription renewed, got some new contacts, yay! And although I may still need to use readers every once in a while to more magnify a little bit closer so I don't put too much strain on my eyes, I thought, well, maybe my contacts aren't the right prescription if I can't. They were right there. No, I think it's just me being silly. Okay, so I should be able to see that hole. I see the hole. I'm just not. There we go. Make myself a little knot here on the end. And let's just give it a little sew. if you're bored watching, that's okay. Click forward, click back, click off. It doesn't matter. And I'm tangled somehow. How did that happen, Denise? I don't know. Oh, goodness. All right. Guess we're getting another piece of thread, because I'm not dealing with that. I don't know how I did that. Now the see? It couldn't go. I can't have a video that something just doesn't go array, right? Okay, how do we have that like this? Okay. All right. So how is everyone? Good, I hope. I hope the holiday stresses aren't bringing you down and you're taking some time to relax yourself. Like I said, I don't want to burn myself out avocado dyeing, because it is very therapeutic for me and I enjoy doing it. But you know, it's like with anything, if you do too much of it, you can burn yourself out. So it's just like with creativity. You know, we need a break every once in a while. Need a break. Okay, what did I do now? I tangled my thread. Ay, ay, ay. I normally, guys, do not have this many issues. Now I can just get the thread on there and bada bing, bada boom. We're good to go. All right. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my hole here. Maybe yeah, let's sew some buttons on. Yeah, you're crazy, Denise, if it's going to take that long, right? That's what you're probably telling me. It really is not that bad. I don't know, having a struggle today or something. All right, where's the hole? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I know my hole is right there. Okay. For the back of that button, I'm just going to feed the thread through. Just to kind of keep it in place. You can certainly glue them down. It would probably be much quicker than what I'm doing now. Okay, so now we're on that one. So let's see, where do we want to put? I want to put that one kind of there. So we'll just bring our thread over. And sew our button on. Just a couple threads. It's not being worn, so it doesn't have to be like, you know, six layers of thread. Just a few. But no, I was watching Dee Dee paint. Oh my gosh, that was so pretty. And she made it look so easy. And I was like, I kind of got really, I was like, I want to paint. But I don't think I'm going to be able to paint all that. So, okay, let's kind of put this maybe like right there. Let's kind of open that fringy up a little bit, maybe, and put it in there like that. There we go. yeah, it was a beautiful cover. I can't wait to see it on her journal. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Dee Dee did a wonderful job with that. Because, girl, like I told her, if I pull out my paints and try to do that, it would look like, you know, pre-K. Macaroni. It would. Because I am not, I don't know. I probably could if I applied myself and practiced. It's just, I mean, I do enjoy, I have watercolors and I have watercolor pencils and I like to draw with them, you know, or just like color with them. And I do have paints because I like to do like some decoupaging and just to use for like backgrounds and stuff like that, like what I did with those. But to try and paint a landscape, pre-K. I'll have stick figures in there. I can make some stick avocados. Avocados on sticks. Oh, goodness. Sorry. You're probably like, that wasn't even funny, Denise. No, it probably wasn't. I just, you know, I'm silly weird sometimes. And I'm not even tired. I actually, for a change, got a fairly good night's sleep last night. My sleep score has been the highest it's been, so not so bad. All right. So let's leave a little fringe on that end and fringe there. And then in our next video, we'll probably come back and do the tag. I want to do something kind of cute. Maybe decoupage napkin or something on there. Make a nice little tag for in here. So let's see. I want to use my art glitter glue because it works really good with, well, because of those buttons it might be heavier. I might need to use a Fabri-Tac on here and just make a little pocket. That's what is so great about these little snippets is, you know, you can use them to as a little decoration. You can make a pocket, you can make a tuck, a sleeve. They make great gifts, you know. There we go. So let's kind of just make sure it's on there. Here we go. Make sure it comes all the way up because I don't want it coming off. It's just going to hold a little inventory tag, but I'll make sure it has, you can use it on some wear and tear here too. There we go. Okay guys, see, now that's something that you can use it for. Make it all nice and raggedy. So cute. I love it. It's adorable. And there's so many things you can do with it. And it's so soft. I'm going to sit here and play with it. But yeah, whatever I don't use in the journal will go with the journal. I may even make an extra one just for if I use this one up, just so you'll have one to play with the journal. And even if you don't use it for that, you can always gift it to someone else, you know. So anyhow, thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you found this video useful and somewhat kind of funny and amusing. I couldn't find my needles and couldn't find the hole in the button. But until next time, guys, plenty of hugs, loves, and blessings. Bye.